Helen, this is the job that no one likes to do but has to be done in the garden.
Let me guess. It's weeding.
That's it. Absolutely. If it is not done, the garden looks a mess, but it's one of the things that's a little tricky when you first start out, especially if you inherit a garden, because you're never sure, is this a good plant or is this a plant that you don't want?
Right.
So one thing you can do is get a friend to come over, a good gardening friend, and they can point things out. Otherwise, it's just a matter of waiting until the plant has bloomed.
Okay.
And usually at that point, you will know if this is something you want to keep or something you want to get rid of.
So we shouldn't do it too early then. If we see something we don't recognize, we shouldn't assume it's a weed. We should leave it for a bit.
Exactly.
Okay.
I knew this one woman who, she had inherited this garden and they were growing heritage roses from seed, and dear woman just pulled them all out one afternoon and was so upset that she had hauled out these roses. Anyway, she now knows what roses look like.
Right.
And I mean, a lot of people say, well, you should know, but people don't necessarily, so don't feel bad
And
about
some things don't look the same when they're brand new anyway as they do when they're mature plants.
Absolutely. And what you'll find is that many seedlings you want and many weeds look identical, so it can be very, very difficult to decide what it's going to be. So that's why you want to wait until they blossom. This patch of soil here, I waited until you got here, Helen, and here I am sitting down doing the weeding.
Yes, yeah, you didn't catch me this time, Barbara.
You're a smart woman. We've got a lot of twitch grass this time of year.
Twitch grass.
It's just it's very ugly, and of course this is something that's easily identifiable in the garden. So I'm just going to go through, pull it out, and there's a few other things here that I know for certain are weeds. And there's the bus.
There's the bus again. So in the time-honoured method, you just simply pull them out by the roots.
I just pull them out by the roots. The soil's a little bit wet. It really isn't a good gardening day for anything else. So you might as well just...
And that's because we've had a lot of rain over the last couple of days.
We have had a tremendous amount of rain. I showed you a pot, and I believe there was about, it looked like 20, 30
centimeters of water in it. Yeah.
It's really quite
so that really
remarkable.
affects the soil, makes it heavy, doesn't it?
Well, and the thing you have to watch out for is that you don't want to spread disease. And the leaves, there may be something on one leaf you walk through and you'll just knock the water droplets onto another plant.
Oh, so you shouldn't even really be walking through the garden
Shouldn't be walking
when it's
through the
wet
garden.
like this.
And this is why I'm just sort of sitting out on the edge, and as much as I can grab, I'll grab, and then when it dries up, I'll have to get in there and really get those weeds out.
Right, okay. Sometimes when Barbara's gone off to get something, I like to take the chance to wander around and look at some of the other lovely things that she's got in her garden. Look at these magnificent lilies. Beautiful colour, and they seem to be just at their best right now. Lovely.
Helen, sometimes it can be really, really tricky to figure out what's a weed and what's not a weed.
Right.
So in this particular case, I'll just show you how hard it can be. I have ground cover that is fairly recently planted called sweet woodruff that we've talked about.
Oh, we've talked about sweet woodruff.
And
woodruff.
In its midst, we have yellow oxalis.
Okay.
Which is just down here. And if you have a look, you can see the oxalis.
Oh, I see it, yeah.
And you see how tricky it is that it's hiding right in that sweet woodruff. That if you really didn't know, you might just kind of let it go.
Right.
So
it looks like a shamrock, Barbara.
And it is exactly the same family. And one thing to know about this particular little fellow is that when the flower has bloomed and then it has set its seed, when it dries, the individual seeds explode. Ooh. So you end up with yellow oxalis all over your garden.
So you want to get it out then as soon as you see it.
And before it blooms, definitely.
Right, okay.